for? Strictly business. Yeah. You want a job or get rich? I'm bossed up. 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 I got boss in my IV. Just check my ID, and that's why I be the HNIC. People despise me. My services ain't free. Ain't trying to hear your story, homie. Cop me, no please. In high school, corner, quarterback. Nowadays, corner, quarter sack. Keep that on the low. Rappers turning into rats. Fly snitching on they self. DEA ransack.
What's good? What's poppin'? It's your boy. I'm solo dolo right now. Okay, Molich is going through traffic and doing all the things. GQ is still on hiatus, but that does not stop the show. So we're gonna get this popping early. While I am waiting for Molich to come back, let's get it going.
I'm gonna be a bully out there. Yeah, me, I'm gonna be a goddamn bully, and ain't nothing y'all can do to stop me.
Oh, gee. Come on, man.
I've been going nuts. I was on basket to basket going crazy. I was on player PBT going crazy. I was in the comments at Gentleman's Talk going crazy this week. So this week, we just gonna go crazy. I want to get into real quick some of the comments, some of the talk that's been going on about Lamar Jackson, and is he a franchise quarterback? Did he fold under pressure? Yada, 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 yada. All of those things we're going to answer right now. No, Lamar Jackson did not fold under pressure. Okay? The offensive coordinator and Lamar Jackson and the front office and the head coach, they put Lamar in a trick bag. What I mean by that is this. Everybody told Lamar since he came into the league what he's not. And you start to internalize that. Oh, he can't pass from the pocket. He's not a pocket passer. He's not a traditional quarterback. So what does Lamar do? Lamar takes his superpower and takes his superpower away and becomes a normal human. Okay? During the 17-week or 18-week season, if you want to work the offense out, implement new plays, work on throwing from the pocket, short passes, intermediate, deep routes, do all those things. 100% get that. When you get to playoffs, it's win at all costs. And when you have a guy like Lamar Jackson is the best player on the field 99 out of 100 times when he's on the field. So what he needs to do is play like that. If I'm an offensive coordinator, if I'm Lamar's offensive coordinator, and we're in a playoff game, it's win and go home. I don't got time for you to be trying to look pretty in the pocket and do all these. Nah, bro. I'm going to give you one, maybe two reads. If you don't see it, get out of Dodge. There should never be a point where that Ravens offense is behind the chains. Never, not once. Unless the defense, literally checks to the right call and knows what we're about to do. Excuse me. We should never be in negative situations because your legs are your superpower. They neutered Lamar Jackson. They took away the thing that makes him super special. There were too many instances when he was in the pocket and he slid to his left, a lane opened up. But because in his mind, if he takes off, then he's proven everybody right. He's a wide receiver, or he's just a running back with an arm playing quarterback. I don't care about none of that. Not even a little bit. Go get the first down, pick up 5 yards, pick up 3 yards. As long as we are moving the chains, it does not matter to me how we do it in the playoffs. I don't care. I don't care if I threw for 300 yards or I ran for 300 yards. It's 300 yards regardless. Let's make it happen. And we do this a lot with, mobile quarterbacks in the sense of, well, I can't say all. I'm just going to say some. You can make the distinction wherever you may. But we look at these guys and we say, well, they're not traditional. But we're not playing football in a traditional sense anymore, are we? We don't call plays in a traditional sense now, do we? So why should we hold the quarterback standard the same? The running back standard isn't the same because now if you're a big bruising running back, you're basically exiled. You have to be able to catch the ball, move in space, be a multifaceted back nowadays. There is no room for big 250-pound running backs that are pounding it into in between the guards and picking up short yardage. There's no room for the 250-pound thumper middle linebacker. That was a traditional linebacker back when I was growing up. Now middle linebackers are 220, 225 pounds. Shoot, some are even 210, 215. They're the size of strong safety. So why are we holding quarterbacks to the same traditional standards if we're not holding the rest of the league in the sense of position-wise to the same standard? Let's not do that. Like we're handicapping ourselves by this. Because if I'm John Harbaugh, I'm handicapping myself by allowing Lamar to just stand in the pocket and look downfield. It's bad business. And speaking of bad business, you know what else is bad business? Hold on, Mulich is backstage. Let me see if he's ready to rock.
And I couldn't leave my boy alone to face the heat. Because we man. Stop fucking
no heat. No heat. I was just like, I just wanted to get it popping. And speaking of, leaving people out to dry, Greg Roman? Who is Todd Monken? Is the offensive coordinator now. I don't know how he sees the game. I can't speak for him. I can only speak for how Melvin sees the game. Right? And if I'm playing a team that is blitz heavy and sending slot cornerbacks and doing all those types of things, the last thing I want to do is have my receivers running yards 8 to 12 yards downfield. I want my quarterback to get the ball out of his hands quick. Slants, in routes. The bubble screen stuff don't work. I'm not a fan of the bubble screen stuff like that. That's just me.
I mean, only if you really have the personnel to really run it and the down and distance calls for it. But running it there on second down or first down, it's counterproductive.
It is. And if you're going to blitz and I have Lamar Jackson, I'm pretty sure they have a plethora of quarterback draws in their playbook, and they didn't run none of them.
Well, I mean, we literally can watch the film, and you see the holes from the end zone cam view. Not even from dropped you. Fumble. But not even from the end zone, not even only from the end zone cam view, but from also the sideline cam view. And it's apparent that there are wide open holes that Lamar can take out of, to the point where his players, like his teammates, are calling it out, and they're just not calling those plays. So
and that goes to, if you saw the thumbnail, cojones. If you know what cojones are, they are huevos. They're not eggs, but we call them just balls. They took those from Lamar. They took it from him. They punked him into being something that he's not. Lamar he's a runner, he's a passer, he is a threat whenever the ball is in his hand. And by people consistently saying he needs to throw the ball more from the pocket, it starts to seep into your soul. Like I tried to say earlier, and it turned him into something he is not. The biggest threat on that field is when you drop back as a defense and they send a blitz. If you send in 6 or 7 dudes and Lamar steps in front of that, that means there's only 4 or 5 dudes left in front of him. And that's when it gets scary. And they took that element away from the Baltimore Ravens. And they took it out. I'm not saying the defense, but the defense.
And y'all want to know why he's correct? Y'all want to know why he's absolutely correct, bro? And y'all can't sit up here and try to make excuses for this, right? Because I know a lot of people are going to try to come on in here and try to get in the comments. Oh, well, Lamar did this and he was supposed to do that. And no, at the end of the day, his coaches failed him. And I'll tell you exactly why and how they failed him. If you look at all the previous games that Lamar has had, his passing attempts have never been that high. As far as actual attempts, they've never been that high, to the point where he's averaging, or he's had over almost 300 yards passing in a game. If you look at Lamar's average numbers this year, he only he literally only passed for maybe about 200 yards. Maybe about 200 yards. His average passing numbers are about 186 to 196. Maybe about 200 yards. The rushing attempt, the Ravens running game is literally what carried them to the playoffs. Is what carried them to 11 wins, 12 wins, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
If you go look at it, just go look at the game from last week. Not against the Chiefs, but the game prior to that against the Texans, and even the game on Christmas against the Niners. And tell me what his passing yards was. Tell me what his attempts were, and to then go and look at the rushing stats and tell me what those were. Because you can't sit up there and tell me that much of a disparity in a fucking AFC championship game does not matter, and it's all on Lamar when you used multiple running back sets. This is the reason why we went out and got Dalvin Cook before the playoffs, right? Literally signed him a game before the fucking playoffs, right? This is why we go out and get Dalvin Cook. This is why we go out and get the young kid, right? This is why we sign these guys. This is why we have a multiple backfield, right? This is why we had a Melvin Gordon, right? Because we want to be able to run the ball, because running the ball is important in the playoffs. But you guys hinder that and essentially make him pass the ball more than they run the ball, and then you guys want to blame him for everything that happened. Mel, let me ask you a question.
Yes,
what
sir.
happened when Chicago's when Chicago?
Well, Mullis just dropped out. Got his GED.
Got my okay, yeah. What happened when before Justin Fields got hurt? What were the Bears? What were the Bears doing to Justin Fields?
What were they doing? Absolutely nothing.
Okay, absolutely nothing, right? So they were putting him in positions that made his job essentially harder to succeed, correct?
Yes.
Same with Zach Wilson, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when you see how you're winning games, right? I.e. the run game, i.e. quick game, i.e. i.e. letting your quarterback actually make the plays with his legs instead of forcing him to stand in the pocket to be stationary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that hinder the offense? Doesn't that make them doesn't that take away a different aspect or a whole different dynamic aspect of their game?
It takes away everything.
So when they can't do that and they can't properly extend plays and they can't properly create plays with their legs, which is something that they've been used to doing their whole career, doesn't that make them look bad? Doesn't that make them not succeed?
Yes, it does.
So when the Bears, after Justin Fields gets back, when they decide to capitalize on his strengths, simplify the offense, quick reads in the run game, that they started to look better, right? Same with Zach Wilson?
Most certainly.
So why is it that you use this whole recipe to essentially get to the AFC Championship game only to divert from the recipe when you get there in order to make your quarterback look good, but in reality you made him look bad because all you had to do was continue the game plan and you'd have won convincingly.
Yep, you made him look absolutely ridiculous. Now I'm going to show y'all something if I can get it to pop up. Yes, okay, here we go. Just, this is evidence of what I mean. You would think Lamar Jackson would see this. And literally, that's 15, 20 yards at minimum.
And we know with Lamar Jackson's tackle breaking ability, that's probably 20, 25 yards.
Right. You know what happened on this play? A strip sack. This is the strip sack play. This is when Chris Jones, who's all the way the hell over here, got to Lamar. There is nothing but space and opportunity for Lamar Jackson. But because they neutered him, he did not take those lanes. There were 4 lanes for him to run on there. 4.
Yep.
He took none of them.
So when you have... Now, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, he just decided, because of what everybody says, I'm going to sit in the pocket and try and deliver this ball downfield. Instead of, he would have picked up the same amount of yards if he just ran it.
You mean just like how he started to do in legitimately the fourth quarter, correct? When it was too late because they told him to start doing that? Oh, yeah, well, you see the lanes, go ahead and start taking it. You realize if you told him to do that earlier, y'all would be winning this fucking game, right? And the cool part about it is you're not even out of the game. You were never out of the game.
They were never out of the game.
Was get back on course and not try to have your quarterback look like a fucking superhuman quarterback when you don't need to. That's not what got you to the situation, right? You used Lamar, of course, his ability matters, but you used the rest of your team that added on to it, right? Everybody wants to sit up there and say, "Oh, well, Brock Purdy this and Brock." Yeah, use your teammates. Don't just try to sit up there and make the quarterback look like the guy. Guess what, everybody? We've seen that before, and they lost the game. Ask Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. They lost the fucking game. Run the ball. Trying to make somebody look like the trying to make somebody look like the superstar instead of just following the game plan. They started to follow it late in the fourth quarter, right? Oh, Lamar, take off. Oh, Lamar, take these quick reads we're giving you instead of having you and your receivers run long developing routes against one of the best fucking defenses in the league.
No, and then it's funny that you say that. Why do you say that? Because on ESPN right now, Stephen A. Smith, which is my guy, so I'm not going to be too mad because Stephen A. He asked a question, and this is the question that I have been posing the entire season, and I've been telling everybody this. He said, what is the reason that the Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl? Is it Mahomes or the defense? And I've been telling everybody it's the defense. That's a Super Bowl winning defense.
Most definitely is.
See, but we love to over gas certain people. And last night, we was on Play versus Team. Me and Mulich, shout out to Troy, Boo-Wop came through. We had to step in. Our sister had her birthday. She was getting turned up yesterday, so we had to fill in. And the questions was asked, like, is it Andy Reid? Is it Mahomes? Is it the system? There's a lot of different things surrounding what is the actual reason for the success of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Definitely.
And if you're going to ask Melvin, if you've been following me from the beginning, you already know I am not the biggest Patrick Mahomes fan. I believe there's a lot of things being done with smoke and mirrors, and big head media will make you believe that he's the greatest quarterback we've ever seen.
To ever touch the ball, but we all know that's not true.
That's not true. Now, yes, he's been to 4 Super Bowls now in 6 years. That is amazing. It is dope. Not taking anything away from him as far as that's concerned. But we don't anoint every quarterback that does something like this. Because if I talk about Eli Manning, then Eli Manning's not that good.
Oh, he has a 500 record. Oh, he threw more interceptions than he threw touchdowns. Blah, blah, blah. It's like that. But did he not beat Tom Brady twice?
Right. If we bring up a like Phillip Rivers, like if we bring up these guys, like the biggest argument I've been fighting this week was when I brought up Peyton Manning with the Denver Broncos and how they said that the defense carried him to that Super Bowl.
Which
now,
never mind.
If that's the case, I'm not going to argue with you. But I want you to prove the point, and the point that you're going to prove is the exact same point that I'm going to make about the Kansas City Chiefs and this season. Because that defense got them here. Not the
True.
offense. Okay? I'm going to pull up a whole nother stat. And you tell me if this looks like a quarterback. I think I put it in there. Let's see. Yes, I did. Okay. These are the drives of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens last week. Touchdown, turnover on downs, punt, field goal, punt. That's what the Kansas City Chiefs did.
Mm-hmm. Sure did. Like I said, Baltimore was in this game the whole game.
But y'all want me to, Patrick Mahomes, played a perfect game, and da-da-da. There were several possessions, where they either turned it over or downs or they punted. They did not score. They scored 3 points in the second. Is it the second half, or did they score? They kicked that field goal before the?
Yeah, they scored 3 points in the second half.
No, they scored no points in the second.
Oh no, no points in the second half. Sorry, yeah, that 3 points is right before halftime.
If anybody else, if any other quarterback goes scoreless for a half, they kill them in the media. They killed them. But because it's Patrick Mahomes, he played a great game. He played a perfect game, they said. Perfect?
Perfect game. That's what
How was
they
that
said.
a perfect game? But this is LeBron James syndrome. I said this last night. Where they feel the need to uplift a player and put them in conversations that they do not belong in. Patrick Mahomes, if you want to say he is the best quarterback in the NFL today, I'm not going to argue with you on that. I'm not going to do that.
You got that for sure.
To say that Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback we have ever seen, and he is in the same conversation as Tom Brady, is laughable.
All right, so look, I know a lot of people see me on here last night, and obviously I was on Patrick Mahomes' side, right? Okay, so check this out, right? In order to be a good analyst, in order to be a good debater, in order to be a good person who's argumentative, you have to be able to argue both sides, right? And that's what I was doing last night, okay? So you have to be able to speak and think on both sides of the spectrum, and I can do that. But true feelings, as far as a true football mind is, bro, we have to slow down with this Patrick Mahomes anointing, bro. Like, I get it. I understand. Like, trust me, like I get it. I definitely understand. But at the same damn time, we have to take account who he has with him, right? And a lot of people are gonna say that, oh well, this is, if he wins this is the case for him being better. No, it's not, bro. You guys have to wait until somebody's career is over. Like I said, like me and Mel was just talking about literally 2 days ago, right? Tom Brady won 6 Super Bowls with New England. 6. Y'all don't hear? 6 of them, okay? 6 of them in New England, okay? And people still had a problem putting him over Joe Montana.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes has 2. And we're already trying to anoint him over Tom Brady, somebody who won as a backup, right? Won as a backup. Oh, that shit. He was a fucking backup to a superstar quarterback, okay? Alex Smith, as much as we love him, he wasn't a superstar quarterback. Drew Bledsoe was a really, 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 really good MVP candidate quarterback.
Pro Bowl quarterback, all-pro quarterback.
All-pro quarterback. And Tom Brady took his job, bro. Okay? Won, right? Twice or 3 times, I think, right? Got hurt, right? Because people don't remember. He got hurt, tore his ACL. After injuries like that, most quarterbacks do not come back the same. Let's just keep it a band. Let's just keep it. Let's just keep most play, especially at that time, right? This is a time where medical science isn't on the par where it is now, where motherfuckers like Aaron Rodgers can come back from an Achilles injury 3 months after. No, okay, and it was a pretty bad injury. All right, so he cut after being drafted to 299, right, or 199. After being a backup and essentially probably told he's really not going to play like that because you have a superstar quarterback in front of you, right? After getting hurt, right? After going 10 years without winning a fucking Super Bowl, he comes back and caps off 4 more. One with a different team.
Yep.
But y'all are going to sit here and tell me that Patrick Mahomes is better than him because he has 2?
Because they do this dumb stuff. You can be more talented than somebody else. That does not make you better. Okay?
At all.
Patrick Mahomes, and if we're gonna talk talent, Patrick Mahomes can throw from he can throw from every arm angle and this, that. I'm like, yeah, but Tom Brady didn't have to do that because Tom Brady used his head. Peyton Manning used his head. They didn't have to roll out of the pocket and move. They was like, nah, y'all in the cover 3. He gonna sink. He gonna drop and put the ball right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna take what the defense gives me because as a quarterback, that's That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Like using your brain is a superpower too. Like
Being smart, being a field general, being a leader. That's the reason
and
why a lot of people consider Peyton the GOAT, regardless of his playoff
you know,
record, regardless of how many rings he has. The reason why people consider Peyton the GOAT is because it doesn't matter what coverage you're in, it doesn't matter what front, what set you're in. He can literally go out there, read it, change the play to beat you, just like that.
you know what? Hey, I'm gonna say this. This is why I tell y'all, like when you watch us and we give it to you straight, no chasing, we are the best sports show in the world. Because we try to tell you that every quarterback is a game manager. We try to tell you that. Do you know the excuse that Nick Wright had the nerve to use this past weekend? That Patrick Mahomes went 4 quarters and just managed the game because they didn't want to turn the ball over and da-da-da.
Say it ain't so.
That's the whole point. That's why we're going to get to the Cam statement, because Cam kind of doubled down on Brock Purdy, but we're going to get to that in a second. But there are points in games, like Mulich said, like I said, like GQ said. You have to manage the game as a quarterback. You have to understand what's happening and be like, you know what? Either we got to pick it up or we got to slow it down. We're going to use the running game because they're dropping everybody back, so we're going to run the ball. Or they're blitzing. All right, cool. Let's try and get behind them. Let's get the quick game out. You're managing the situations. You're managing the game. All quarterbacks do that. That's why that game manager and game changer stuff really doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna get to that when we get to the Brock Purdy situation. But when we're talking about the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Patrick Mahomes has 2 Super Bowls. 2. He has the same amount of Super Bowls as Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger. Like, we don't have those guys in those conversations. And Ben Roethlisberger came out the gate hot too and won his 2.
Sure did.
And then what happened after that?
Whew.
Kind of cooled off. Like, if Patrick Mahomes goes to this Super Bowl, well, I mean, he is in the Super Bowl, but let's say they lose the Super Bowl. And then he never goes back to the Super Bowl again. Then what? Is your argument still the same? No. Your argument is no longer valid because it's never been valid. Mm-hmm. You have to wait you have to read the entire book to know how it ends.
Can't just read the first 2 pages and then think, oh, well, this is the greatest book I've ever seen. I've ever read.
And we also have to take into consideration, like, to be in these conversations, we also have to take in performances, what you did, how you played. Ben Roethlisberger got 2 Super Bowls, and he is not a Super Bowl MVP.
Nope. Like, how you play matters. How you manage the game matters, right? And as far as the whole conversation where is it Reed or is it Mahomes, I don't understand. Just look at last year's Super Bowl. If people really want to sit up here and ask that question, right? Because I heard it on the radio earlier. Well, Reed couldn't really win until, Mahomes got there and blah, 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 shit like that, which means motherfuckers was watching the show. Because did I not literally say that last night?
That's what we said last night.
Crazy. Literally said that last night, right? But it's funny that people try to bring that up, but forget the fact that he has an over 500 record in the playoffs, right? As of right now, he has an over 500 record in the Super Bowl. So it's like I'm just trying to figure out how we can sit up here and equate that, right? When we've seen what happened last year, with how they were losing the game and simply through his offensive schemes, right? Simply through the offensive plays that he was calling, they come back and win that game.
Yeah.
Like, how can anybody sit up here and equate it to, it was Patrick Mahomes, it's Patrick Mahomes? It's like, bro, do y'all not understand the scheme that Andy Reid comes up with in order for Patrick Mahomes to look successful? I've been saying it since Patrick Mahomes got there. He couldn't run a broken play off or a broken play type offense that he wanted to run with Alex Smith. Couldn't do it, right? Because they didn't have him and Patrick Mahomes didn't have the same ability, right? Because Patrick Mahomes sees the field and he's a smarter football player, right, mentally, and is a little bit more athletic, he can do more things than Alex Smith can do. So in Andy Reid's mind, right, especially with Eric Bieniemy
I
back there
wouldn't say
cooking
he
shit,
was smarter than Alex Smith.
I don't want to not like
would
that,
say
not like football, instinctually wise, right?
he
I would say instinctually
manipulates
wise.
he manipulates the okay.
The
What I
game
mean, what
a little,
he changes the view of the defense. And
yes,
what I mean by
exactly.
that is when he rolls out to his right, the defense doesn't turn to his right. The defense stays where it is. That's why he can find Travis Kelce as much as he finds him. That's why when he, like, we'll take instance like last week when he rolled to his left and he just tossed it up and Kelce dove and caught the ball. Normally you don't, when they tell you not to roll to your left or to your right and throw late over the middle. But if you can sense the defense and you start to shift and you understand, and the way you have to play Mahomes is you have to move with him. So once he moves, all of those rules go out the window. They go out the window. It's totally different than if Peyton Manning was to roll out. If Peyton Manning rolled out to his left, you tell everybody, stay what you got. Stay what you got. He's not going nowhere. Stay what you got. When Mahomes moves because of the threat with his legs, the entire defense has to overreact. And when you have Alex Smith, who is very mobile, people don't give him
very mobile, definitely.
But Alex Smith saw the field like a quarterback normally would. So he's going to make the throw. He's going to use his legs as a last resort. Mahomes uses his legs as a first resort to get what he wants.
Yes.
That's the difference between the two.
And when you have a coach like Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy that can understand that, and you have speedy receivers, i.e. Tyreek Hill, i.e. Mecole Hardman, Donovan Robinson, when you have these guys, you can run a broken play type offense to the point where it's like, okay, Patrick Mahomes, all you're going to do, one read. If that nigga's not there, get out the pocket, run around. Somebody's going to be open. Hit that person. It's quite literally that simple. All right. If this, I promise you, I've seen this type of offense be run. My all 4 years of my fucking high school career and college career. Okay. We have an athletic quarterback, right? Probably not super athletic, but just athletic enough to get out of trouble or get out of situations, right? We're not gonna. He's gonna use his legs as a first resort, but he's only gonna use his legs to present the threat that he's gonna run, just so another receiver can pop open. So that's all we're gonna do. Pat, as soon as you get the read, you're gonna look straight at Tyreek. You're gonna look straight at Travis Kelce. If they're not there, run the fuck around a little bit. I guarantee they're gonna be open. Because Travis ain't gonna go nowhere. He's just gonna surf in the middle. Tyreek's gonna go uphill, or he's gonna go upfield. Somebody's gonna come down, and one of them niggas is gonna be open. Because everybody's focused on you, thinking, "Oh, well, this is Patrick Mahomes. He can also run, so let me go ahead and squeeze up a little bit." No, you're supposed to treat him like a mixture between Alex Smith and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Lock up on his receivers, but yet follow his body position to understand where he's moving, so that you can take away the play with not only body position, but the defensive set that you guys are already in. A lot of people didn't understand that until, and I'm going to give everybody a hint, I'm going to give everybody the answer, until the Raiders did it. That was the first team that actually took what Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid were doing and flipped it against them.
Right. And this is why I tell people, it's like, look, if you can play what the Kansas City Chiefs run an offense, what they run is a variation of, some of y'all might not know, of the run and shoot offense, where you have basically 4 options for each wide receiver based upon what look you're going to get. That's why Mahomes, if him and the receiver don't read the same thing, that's why he rolls out.
Yeah.
Because you can't throw it to a spot unless you're actually reading the exact same thing. You know why his interceptions were up this year? Because him and the receivers weren't reading the same thing.
Crazy, huh?
So when you have this type of an offense, it's boom or bust. And it helps when you have a a tight end who used to play quarterback.
Yeah, definitely.
The young wide receivers that they have not been playing in this offense long enough to do it and run it effectively like Tyreek Hill did, like Mecole Hardman did, like Sammy Watkins did. Like, when you had all of these guys, they were all, I'm not going to say they were on the same page all the time, but 9 times out of 10, they were hitting on all cylinders because they were all reading and seeing the exact same thing. When you got these younger wide receivers, second-year dudes, rookies, they're still learning the offense. The game is still moving fast to them. You see, Rasheed Rice is now getting it. That's why he's
barely now picking it up.
That's why he looks better now than he did in the beginning of the season.
Right. And even though, stay on that point though, Mel, because even though Rasheed is starting to pick it up, right? They brought back Mecole Hardman, and he's still not relevant. Why? It's because it's a whole different game. Eric Bieniemy's not there, right? It's a whole different type of game now. Eric Bieniemy, you're listening to Andy Reid, and his instructions on how to run that offense is different than how Eric Bieniemy wanted you to run. So now he's starting to it's taking him hella long to pick up how complex and how different the offense is now compared to what it was before when he was on the team before. It's the same thing. It's not easy, right? It's definitely not easy. But when you have guys like a Tyreek Hill, like a Donovan Robinson, but you also have good coaches in an Eric Bieniemy, in an Andy Reid, it makes it seem easy. Oh yeah, that's easy. That's easy. Hell no. When you have guys that make it look easy, it makes it seem like that, yeah. But when you have guys that take a little longer to learn it, right? It takes a little longer for it to gel. Yeah, the shit looks rough, doesn't it? That's the reason why the Chiefs had a case of the dropsies all season.
Yeah, because the drop passes are lack of communication. Lack of focus, and unsureness, because you don't know what you're overthinking. Should I be here? Should I not be here? Am I running? And you're not running full speed because you're trying to figure out, do I cut here? Do I cut there? Do I flatten it out or do I bow it out? Do I run through the zone or do I settle in the zone? When
anybody wonder why Kadarius Toney ain't playing right now?
Yeah.
That's why.
Because Kadarius Toney is a tricky person. When you just tell Kadarius Toney what to do, when he doesn't have to think, he's a dangerous weapon. That's why you won the Super Bowl last year. Because you basically told him, look, run this route like this, do this, and do that. What does he do? He does that, gets the ball, and then he becomes a threat.
Go out there and be an athlete, bro.
When you tell him when he has to line up and then look, if they ain't cover 3, I got to do this. If they ain't cover 4, I got to do this. If they're in man, I got to do this. You're giving him too much shit to try and process. And like I said, I said this about Justin Fields. If you're giving him too much information, then you got to cut that shit back.
Cut that shit down.
Don't sit there and keep force feeding people things that they don't want to eat.
Mm-hmm. What the Ravens did to Lamar this past weekend.
Yeah. Don't sit there. Don't give receivers and tight ends and all these other people, oh, well, you got to do this, that. You got 5 options on this route. Dude, I'm only going 8 yards.
Yeah, I only need 1 option. Like, why do I need 5 options? I only need 1.
Right. Like, it's too. You're giving young players entirely too much. It's supposed to be a growth process. And the same thing with Lamar is, don't take Lamar's superpower away from him.
And overcomplicate the offense when simplifying the offense and his superpower is what got you here in the first place.
Right. When you got the running backs for the Baltimore Ravens last week carried the ball 5 times.
5 times combined.
Yeah, that's all the running backs. Everything else, every other rushing attempt was Lamar on a scramble.
On a scramble. That's the cool part about it. And they didn't start. I want everybody to go back and really watch that game again. I watched it 4 times already. They didn't start doing QB design runs until the end of the 3rd, beginning of the 4th.
And mind you, Gus Edwards was averaging 6 yards a carry. So there was no reason to not run the ball. Okay.
Healthy Dalvin Cook.
You know, and when we're back to like the crust of all of this is Patrick Mahomes. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take him completely off the table. I'm not even gonna do it. I'm gonna do something that ain't nobody else has done this whole week. Chris Jones and that defense, y'all did y'all fucking job.
Most definitely.
And I was trying to explain this to people. That's a Super Bowl winning defense. They win this Super Bowl is going to be because that defense showed their ass.
Most definitely. And it's crazy. It's crazy because it's literally like a lot of people don't understand how key this defense is, because literally 3 weeks in a row they neutralized some of the best offenses in the game. But I want everybody to pay attention to this fact right here. Understand something. If that defense, more specifically Ladarius Sneed, doesn't force that fumble on the fucking 1 yard line while Zay Flowers is in midair, the Chiefs lose that game, guys. Like, do y'all realize that? Realize that?
I'll take it even further. I'll take it back before that. There was a play in the second quarter. I think it was the second quarter. It was 3rd and 1. They ran a bubble screen to Zay Flowers. If Zay Flowers catches this ball, I think he's still running now.
Probably. But
Chris Jones they lined him up on the outside. And instead of him coming down the way you teach defensive ends to do, he bowled it out, came out, stuck his arm out, batted the ball on the ground. They showed on the all 22 screen. If Chris Jones doesn't bat that ball down, there are 5 Baltimore Ravens in front of him.
Yep.
5. And there was 2 Kansas City Chiefs because they blitzed again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this defense is legit. It's legit. This is the best defense that Patrick Mahomes has ever played with, and they're not giving them the credit that they deserve.
They're really not, because a lot of people were talking about, oh, well, Lamar, he had a lot of missed throws. He had a lot of overthrows. Do y'all understand? That's because of the defense. Quarterbacks just don't – I know, contrary to what people believe, guys, quarterbacks just don't sit in the pocket and deliver bad balls.
That's not how that works.
It just doesn't happen, okay?
Not how that
I understand
works.
a lot of you people think that shit when you watch the game and, oh, he had enough time. He had a clear pocket and he just delivered it back. No, okay? When a quarterback overthrows the ball or underthrows the ball or throws it too wide to the left, too wide to the right, guess what? He was probably under some way, shape, or form of duress. When a quarterback is able to set his feet and point his toe in a direction that he wants to deliver the ball and actually be able to deliver a good ball, it's accurate literally 97, 98% of the goddamn time. But when anytime he's ever under any kind of duress, guess what? That's going to change the trajectory of the ball. Which means if Lamar is sailing the ball over Zay Flowers' head or over Odell's head, which happened a few times, he's more than likely throwing off of his back foot unbalanced, which means the ball is going to carry further because he put more power into it, right? He couldn't put the touch on it that he wanted to put on it, right? This happens. This is the reason why that defense, it doesn't matter how many sacks they acquired, right? This is the reason why QB hits are a stat. This is the reason why QB hurries are a stat, right? QB pressures are a stat, right? This is the reason why, because they cause the trajectory of the balls to be changed, right? There's a reason why the defensive linemen are always told, even if you don't get the sack, run with your hands up, get your hands up, get your hand up, because you can knock down a low trajectory ball. You can change the path of a fucking ball. You can literally make a quarterback throw the ball that much higher to the point where now the receiver can't jump and get it, right? Oh, no, shit. The ball is supposed to be down here. It's up here. Timing's off, right? All of that stuff matters. Did y'all see how many times that George Karlaftis was in the backfield?
Bruh.
That matters, guys.
Every single time. Every single time. You know, and I'm not one of these that's gonna put it on Lamar. Like, oh, Lamar lost this game. Like, dog, one, the refs, Like, that was a pass interference on Lamar. Shouldn't have thrown the ball in the end zone with 2 dudes around or
That's
3
facts.
dudes.
Isaiah
Like-
Likely, you're wild for calling for that motherfucker when you draped in double coverage, but that's another story for another day.
It was pass interference on that.
It definitely was pass interference. And I heard the breakdown. Oh, I heard the breakdown. And y'all motherfuckers for sure lied on television talking about, oh, he got there. He didn't get there early. You know, he got there right on time. Man, that nigga got there hella early. Isaiah Likely was on the ground before the pick even happened, bro. So like, let's not do that.
And the funny thing about it is, and I wish I had the fucking. I think I might have the video. If I think I'm gonna have to see if I saved it. But if you watch the play, the dude who hit him is on the ground looking at the ref. He sits there. He doesn't move. He's looking at the ref, seeing if the ref is gonna throw the flag.
Yeah.
He's
looking dead at him.
He's like, oh shit, because he knew he fucked up.
Yeah, I was gonna say because he knew it. He knew it.
I'm gonna have to find that fucker. I'm gonna find the video. I'm gonna get it because I have it in my phone somewhere. I just gotta find it. But it was pass interference. It was easy.
Yeah, and there were 2, and it's crazy because there was a pass interference the play before that as well. But I want everybody to really realize, like, when you have a team that everybody's quote unquote writing off, right? Especially defensively, right? And you consider yourself and are considered a top defense in the league. When you have a team that people are writing off, oh, they're not supposed to be here, blah blah blah, and stuff like that, bro. Y'all gotta understand, they get paid to do a job as well. This is the thing that I hate about quarterback talk. Everybody thinks the quarterbacks are just supposed to be the superstar and they're supposed to overcome all this adversity and be perfect on the field and they can never do no wrong. Y'all realize that there are legitimately 10 other players out there on the field that make millions of dollars to stop or to hinder the quarterback from doing his job. Like, y'all realize that, right? So when a quarterback throws an interception, it might not have been a bad ball. It could have just been a good play by the DB. Right? Because he gets paid millions of dollars to do that. That's his fucking job.
He watched film.
So, yeah, he watches film too, guys. I don't know if y'all knew this, but hey, he watches film, okay? He's supposed to do that. He gets paid millions of dollars to do that. That's the reason why he's in the NFL, right? That's the reason why a lot of guys are sitting on the couch, and that guy is in the NFL making millions of dollars because that's his job. He can do that, right? So when you have a defense come out there with a chip on their shoulder because they feel like they're not supposed to be there, and they come out and they're locking the Ravens receivers up, and they're not really bottling up the run game, honestly, because the Ravens didn't fucking run the ball. But when they're locking the Ravens receivers up and they're causing them, they're essentially daring these guys to run the ball. Because if you go and look at the box is clear. They either blitz the whole fucking time or drop back in the coverage. Ain't nobody in the fucking box. Linebackers are non-existent in the box. And if you look at the rush lanes, there's plenty of them because they blitzed and they were dropping shit. They were dropping people in the coverage. So when you have a team like that literally dares you to do shit and they step up to the plate, guess what? They're paid to do that, guys. Mm-hmm. That's their job. They wanted to come out there with a chip on their shoulder and be like, yeah, we understand he's probably going to win his second MVP. Yeah, this is his first AFC championship, but we don't care. We're professionals too. We get paid too. We're going to make it hard for him because that's our job.
And that was a top 5 defense.
It confuses me when people just think that defenses are just supposed to go out there and lay down and let these quarterbacks just do whatever the fuck they want, as if they're not professional athletes as well and they don't get paid to stop that person from doing whatever the fuck he wants to do. Like, you all realize that's supposed to happen, right? So, of course, if Lamar goes out there and had a bad game, y'all realize that the defense did their job, right?
Yeah.
As they were supposed to do. It's not like they were supposed to let Lamar go out there.
They're not supposed to let him have a good game.
They're not supposed to let him go out there and have 500 yards and 6 touchdowns, bro. Like, they were supposed to do that to him. Right. So, good job on the defense for playing a hell of a fucking game. Why are we trying to sit up there and try to take shit away from a Lamar or take shit away from this guy when the defense is the one that did the job? Like, come on,
I've been trying to explain to people. Let's go to the other side. Per request, I have to do this. I don't have to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. My brother, he wanted the bang bang Niner game. That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted.
My gosh.
So you get the bang bang Niner game. And you only get it because they're playing the Chiefs. What are your thoughts on this Lions 49er game? Your takeaways from it?
I know a lot of people had a problem with how Dan Campbell, I guess, called the game. But if you look at it, it really wasn't a problem with how he called the game. Honestly, he did what they did as a team to get them in that predicament, and they literally lost by 3 points, guys. Like, it wasn't that he did what they did and they got blown out by the Niners, and now, oh shit, Dan Campbell, his job's in jeopardy. Like, no, he literally did coach the way he coached all season, and it literally he was a play out of the fucking Super Bowl. The only thing, like me and Mel talked about this, the only few things that I had a problem with is, one, you don't go away from your young running back just because he fumbled, right? It was a great play on the defensive part. Again, those guys get paid to do that. So it was a great play on the defensive part, but you don't completely go away from him after that fumble. That literally changed the momentum of the game. You can't do that. You have to continue the momentum of a game when you're playing a team of that caliber. Momentum matters, right? Momentum damn near matters more than points. If you can continue the momentum of that game of that caliber in their stadium and beat them mentally before you beat them physically, the game's already over before you played it. So you can't take one of your best players, especially when he's averaging damn near 6 yards a clip on the ground, out of the game because of a fumble. And this is the thing about it. This is the thing that I really didn't like, right? It's not like he's making excuses for it. This is a rookie, everybody. Remember, it's not like he's making excuses for it. It's not like he's trying to run away from it. He literally sat there and went up to and go watch it. He went up to every single one of his teammates, lineman included, and hit himself on the chest. That was me. That's my bad. I got y'all. That's my bad. I got y'all. But you go away from him. Can't do that. You got to stay consistent. You got to keep going with him. You got to keep giving him the ball. Keep putting that. As a matter of fact, a lot of football coaches will tell you, and Mel will probably even tell you this himself. When a running back fumbles, you don't go away from him. You go right back to him. Put that ball right in his gut and tell him to fucking make that shit the fuck up. Because I guarantee he's gonna do it. Guarantee he's gonna do it.
Yeah. The first play, the next drive, you give him the ball.
First play. Thank you, Mel. First play, the next drive. I'm putting it right back in your stomach. I'm putting it right back in your gut. And the only other thing that I had a gripe with was trying to pass the ball too much when you have two running backs that they're essentially playing bully ball, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, at the clip that they were averaging on the ground, you really didn't have to pass the ball. Like, just run the ball, get your guys involved. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Even the receivers at that point, you got Sam Laporta going off. He's averaging 4.3 yards a clip. Freaking Amon-Ra St. Brown is averaging 5.6 yards a clip. Jamison Williams, we finally started to see the emergence of him. Boys finally put the phone down and stopped betting and finally picked up a football and put his fucking helmet on, right? But you have your guys that are winning, bro. Don't go away from your guys. I understand everybody's talking about, kick the field goal, take the point. You guys lost by 3. Kick the field goal, take the point. You guys lost by 3. Bro, at the end of the day, you have to the way the Dan Campbell coaches and the way he understands football, you have to score on this team. You can't not score on this team. Well, and I understand taking the points, but in my mentality, I got to score touchdowns.
But they were down 3. Like, they tied the game up if he kicks the field.
True. That is also true. But in my that's why, just like I said, the way I'm thinking about the game against this team, I got to take risks because I don't want to live with that what if feeling. You know what I'm saying? If I don't take this risk now, then I'm potentially going to go home.
But you do live with the what if, because this is what happened. You kick the field goal, and you tie the game. You change how Kyle Shanahan calls his next drive. Because now time is still on your side. When you don't kick the field goal and you down 3, time is not on your side.
But I don't kick the field goal if I don't trust my kicker like that.
It was a 25-yard field goal, 30-something.
And we've seen him shank worse.
Hey,
he's literally shanked worse this season.
Hey, I get it, but this is the playoffs. And you don't take points off the board. Like, especially in that situation, late in the fourth quarter, you kick the field goal, you tie the game up, if you play defense, you get a stop, you get the ball back. Maybe you end the game with the ball kicking field goal or driving for a game-winning touchdown. Who knows? But what we do know is if you don't make it, the chances of you doing all that other stuff slim to none. So sometimes you can be too aggressive. And I think Dan Campbell was just too aggressive. And I get it. That's the DNA of this team. And the players all backed him up on it. And they was like, look, that's what got us here. This is what we're going to do. And I'm like, yeah. But sometimes based on circumstance and situation, you got to go away from what you used to do and do what's right.
That's true. And I can respect that point, right? Like I definitely understand that point. It's just for me personally, if I understand this is how I got us here and I understand the caliber of the team in which we playing, I'm honestly going to try to always keep them off guard, always going to keep them on their heels, right? And I'm going to understand definitely taking the points, but if I can capitalize on more points and potentially put this game away, I'm going to try to do that. Now, I will concede and say that he did try to do that a little too early, right? With early in the second quarter early in the third quarter prior to them scoring, he, instead of taking that field goal, I think that's the only field goal that I really would have took instead of going for it on fourth down.
Because I think that field goal would have put them up 10.
That field goal would have put them up 10, right? So that's at that point it's a 2-possession game, right? So I'm taking that field goal, right? So I think there's definitely some growing pains, a learning curve that he's definitely gonna have to deal with, right? And like I said, I completely understand, right? But if it's like for me, like if I gotta be aggressive and I gotta take that shot, I'm up 24-7. Yeah, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I gotta pour it on because like I said, this team is known for coming back. This team is known for
But that's the thing.
For using momentum. I gotta try to control that momentum.
I get it if I'm up. If I'm up and I'm like, look, I can't really afford, because if you up and you don't get it and they score a touchdown, the game is just tied. It is what it is. But when you down, kick the field goal, get the game to even, and then go play defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's another thing, bro. Like, and that's another thing. This is why I said you can't go away from Jameer, is because I felt like even when they were up, bro, like they still passed the ball too fucking much, dog. You run the ball. You're up double digits, right? You're up by at least 3.5 scores. Run the ball. Your guys are eating right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Outside zone is killing. They almost benched Chase Young because he kept giving up outside contain.
Well, you got that. They were both doing it.
And so was Bosa, right? Bosa was getting stretched. Okay. Yeah. There was a time where Panay reached him and sealed him off, bro. That was there all day. Montgomery hit that hole. It was there all day. It was there all day. Because they were getting stretched. They were getting reached. They were hitting that outside zone like nobody's business. You got to keep going to that, bro. You got to keep going to that, dog. Stop.
Until my uncle lived by that. We ran our stretch play. Until you stop it, I'm gonna keep hitting you with it. If I'm picking up 5 to 6, 7 yards on my pin and pulls where my receivers can crack back on your ends and I can pull that tackle or the guard and maintain that edge, and I'm picking up 5, 6, 7 yards, until you stop it, you're getting an extra heavy dose.
This is the reason why my high school offense was so successful, and why a lot of people didn't want to come to our school. Oh, you guys run the ball. You guys run the ball. All you guys do is run the ball. Well, what's 4 times 3? It's 12. It's fucking 12. So if I run the ball 4 times and get 3 goddamn yards every single fucking time, it's a first down, new drive. What are you niggas talking about, bro? Like, that's football. So that's the reason why I say you can't stop going away from Jameer. You got to keep running the ball, right? I understand you're getting Laporta involved. I understand Amon-Ra's going crazy. I understand Jameson is finally coming out, right? But your running backs are eating on a team that they're not supposed to be eating on.
Right.
You got to continue that. You got to go back to the buffet line. Hey, pop that more on. I need some more of that. I need some more of that because 5 and 42, they going crazy right now, dog. Yeah, I need more of that. Mm-hmm. Run that in.
And then, so let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. And we've had this conversation with Big Head Media.
Plenty of times.
Stop talking shit. Y'all don't have the right to talk glowingly about Brock Purdy. You don't have the right to. And this is why you don't have the right to. Because everybody took the side of Cam Newton. We'll get to Cam in a second. But they took it out of context in saying, oh, you know, they're not winning games because of Brock Purdy. Which was funny to me, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. Because we've seen other quarterbacks play in this offense and they didn't win as many games or as frequently as he has been winning since he became quarterback, which would poke a hole in your argument that they're not winning games because of Brock Purdy, because they're literally winning games because of Brock Purdy.
Literally, but continue.
And prior to the playoffs, this was the talk. I'm going to go back to speak again, Joy Taylor. We never seen Brock Purdy lead a game-winning drive. We never seen him have to come back and win a football game because, you know, the 49ers are normally winning, so he's never really under duress. Those were the words. So, in the first week of the when they played their first game, they were trailing. They came back and won. Last week, they were trailing, came back and won. So now that he's done these things, you would think, oh, hey, you did the things that we said you couldn't do, the things that we needed to see so that we could anoint you this other guy. Nope, still won't do it. He's a third string quarterback. He's this, he's that. Like, no, he's a really good quarterback. Really good. Okay? And this offense does not operate the same when he's not in it. Brandon Ayuk, Debo, CMC, Kittle, all of those guys were there doing their thing when Jimmy G was the quarterback. It didn't feel like this. All them guys were there when Trey Lance was quarterback. It didn't feel like this. When he got hurt and Sam Darnold came in to play quarterback, it didn't look like this. He changes the game when he's on the field. He makes game-changing plays when he's on the field. Nobody's going to be perfect. Everybody loses games. That's not the point here. The point is he is a difference maker on that team. And Cam said something that I totally and 1,000% disagree with. He said that Brock Purdy is the 10th best player on the 49ers. So he can't be a game changer because you can't be a game changer if you're the 10th best player on your team. That is bullshit. And with that, I'm going to give you story time. I got to get a little story time thing for me and Moolish. So when we get to this, I can hit the button, story time thing pop up, and we get to going. So, hold on. Let me get Moolish in here. Okay. So, story time. This is when I was playing semi-pro ball. We played the game in the Bronx. We're down 5 or 6. Can't really remember what it was, 5 or 6, whatever it was. Coming off the field. It was just after the 2-minute warning. We had to punt the ball away. I'm on the punt team. Our best player, our running back, Frankie Sinclair. Best player on the team. He's trotting off the field. He's like, where's Mel? Where's Mel? Where's Mel? Sees me coming on the field, grabs me, said, Mel, come here. What's up? I need the ball. I said, I got you. I'm a gunner on punt. We punt the ball off. I fly down, cause the fumble, recover the fumble. Offense comes back on the field. They score in 4 plays. We win the game. I wasn't the best player. I wasn't even the 10th best player on that team. But I was a game changer. I disrupted the game and I changed the outcome of many games, whether it was from a receiver, whether it was from D-back, whether it was from special teams. Being the best player on the team doesn't make you a game changer or the most important person on a team. Because Brock Purdy is the most important player on that team. He may not be the best player on that team, but he's the most important. Tell you that. I tell you, they don't get to where they are if Brock Purdy is not the quarterback. So whether he's the 10th best player or not, he's the most important player on that team. Talent doesn't dictate if you're a game changer. Steve Tasker was the special teams dude for the Buffalo Bills back in the day, and everybody on that Buffalo Bills team will tell you, he was a game changer for real. If you can cause havoc, whether it's on special teams or offense or defense, whether you're the best player or not, you're a game changer. Game changing is being able to come up and show up when the time calls for it. On the Giants teams back in the day, I used to watch the Giant games all the time. Dave Meggett wasn't the best player on those Giant teams, but he was a game changer. When he stepped on the field, you had to work where's 30 at. You had to find him. He wasn't the best player on the team. He wasn't even starting running back.
This is true.
Dallas Clark, when he was on the Colts, he wasn't the best player on that team. But you better find 44. I'm gonna tell you that now. So when we're talking game changers and we're talking superstars, those are two totally different things. Those are two totally different conversations. A game changer doesn't have to be a superstar, and a superstar isn't necessarily a game changer. But when you get the superstar who's a game changer, you get Randy Moss. You get Jerry Rice. You get Barry Sanders. You get Michael Vick. You get Lamar Jackson. You get Patrick Mahomes. Okay? You get those types of guys, those high level, high talented, high, impact guys. That's what makes the greats. Now, when you talk Brock Purdy, you got to think about this. What he has been able to do should be celebrated. You have to realize that 32 teams passed on him multiple times before he got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
They love to tell you, oh, well, this guy got picked with the 11th pick, and he's looking at all the guys that got drafted above him because he wants to prove them wrong. An entire draft was drafted before Brock Purdy. Every single person that was in his draft was drafted before him. And look where he is now. No one else can say this. No one.
Not even Tom Brady.
Not even Tom Brady. They want to say, oh, well, Patrick Mahomes has been to the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl his entire career as a starter. Well, so has Brock Purdy. It's 2 years, but it's the same goddamn.
Same thing.
It's the same thing. He made the plays that he needed to make when he needed to make them against these Detroit Lions. Whether he made it with his legs or he made it with his arm. And then I hate when people say, oh, well, he got lucky when the ball bounced off the cornerback and Ayuk caught it. To do anything in life and be successful in life, it requires some measure of luck.
Yep, honestly.
That's just how that works. When you're doing things the right way, luck just seems to always happen to you.
Yeah, shit. Everybody.
He's lucky. He's lucky. She's lucky.
It'd be like that. Shit, you need a little luck in this world. Shit, but everybody wants to sit up here and talk about, oh, well, it's, and I even said it. Yeah, he overthrew the ball, but it's a shit. It literally hit the DB right in his face. It bounced off his face. Now, mind
you, if I'm correct in this, maybe I'm wrong. Didn't they throw a flag on that play for either pass interference or defensive holding?
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
I was like, so either way, he was getting the ball was going where it was. So
Yeah, most definitely. But it's like
it didn't matter if you caught it or not.
yeah, it's like it bounced off the DB's face, bro. Like, and Ayuk made a great play. So, like, this is the thing about Brock Purdy, right? First of all, everybody needs to relax with that damn game managed. Like, bro, it's not a bad thing, okay? Like Cam fucking said, it's not like he called him trash, bro. Like, being called a fucking game manager it's not a bad thing. Stop making it seem like it's a fucking bad thing to be called a game manager. You want to be able to manage the game. You want to, okay?
That's the whole point.
If you can't manage the game, you're not going to play as a quarterback. I'm sorry. Even if you're not a game manager, but a game changer. If you can't manage the game, you're not going to fucking play. Don't matter how many fucking superstar goddamn plays you can go out there and make with your legs or with your arms or improvise. If you can't manage the game, you're not going to play.
Simple as this. This is because this just happened, and this wasn't in real life. I was playing Madden before we got on. Dude, score was tied. Right? He had the ball at the 2-yard line. Could have called the timeout. I mean, he could have forced me to call a timeout or whatever to run my timeouts out. Him kick the ball with 3 seconds left. He didn't do that. He scored, left me with, I don't know, I think it was something stupid like 12 seconds. Forgot what it was. But he left me time. You don't want to leave time if you can milk it all the way out.
Mm-hmm. Definitely don't.
So he's up 3, 12 seconds or 10 seconds, forgot what it was. He kicks the ball off. Guess what I did?
Oh, you got to return that to the crib.
To the house.
Yeah, to the crib.
As soon as I got to the other 40, he cut the game off.
Oh, yeah, he quit instantaneously. Yeah, you know that's how they do.
But I say that to say he didn't manage the game right.
You didn't manage the game right.
Managing the game is very, very important.
It is. It's a valuable skill that a lot of quarterbacks can't do, especially a lot of first-round quarterbacks. They just can't fucking do it.
Allowing to not put your special teams in a crazy situation. Why would you want to do that? When you can end the game, because he had the ball at the 2-yard line. There was really no reason to even, it wasn't like he had to kick a 40-yard field goal. Just you kick it from the 2, and it is what it is. Whether it gets goofy or not, you can make that field goal.
Mm-hmm,
but
definitely
not managing the defense, not managing your offense, not really thinking everything through and not weighing the options. Well, I'm just gonna kick the ball off, so ain't no way he can return this for a touchdown. There's only 12 seconds left. Well, guess what happened? Game managers and game managing is important.
You have to be able to do it. Everybody has every Hall of Fame fucking quarterback is a game manager. You can call Tom Brady. You can ask Tom Brady next time you fucking see him in real life and ask him. He's a game. Oh, yep. See what there it goes. He's a game manager. Peyton.
You missed it. I already did it.
In the later part of his career, was a game manager, especially when you have the talent. Every single. I'm gonna give y'all. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna just go ahead and put it like this, guys. Every single quarterback, every single first-round quarterback that comes out of college, they're a fucking game manager. They're surrounded by miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of talent, guys. And their coach gives them 2 things to focus on. No sacks, no turnovers. That's part of managing the game. So if you can go out there and do that, that's perfect. That's great.
Look,
but if you can't, then you won't play.
If you have a good defense, what does the coach tell you? Look, the defense on the other side, they locking up. We good.
Yeah.
Don't turn the ball over. Don't fumble. If it ain't there, don't worry about it. We can punt the ball, let the defense handle it. Yeah. That's managing the game.
We're fine. But it's crazy because a lot of quarterbacks don't even have to be told that, right? Quarterbacks themselves don't have to be told that, right? Quarterbacks understand that they are game managers, right? They don't have to be told like, hey, just go out here, don't throw no interception. We're just gonna do this, run the ball, blah blah blah. Quarterbacks already know that, guys. They already know they're game managers. Okay,
If
they
they
know
come
that
out
shit.
and
If I can just go out here and manage this game a little bit, we're gonna get out here with a dub. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna be smooth.
if it's the second quarter and the offense takes the field with 1 minute and 46 seconds, he already knows we in a 2-minute drill.
In a 2-minute drill.
Everything's quick. We may not even huddle.
That's managing the game, guys.
It's managing the game.
That's
that's all it really is, dog. Like it's not that deep.
Managing the game. It's really not, bro. Like
So,
I don't understand why people are trying to make it seem like it's some type of diss or I don't understand why everybody talking about the Niners quarterback like he just some bro. Nobody said he's a scrub, but he is a game manager. So what? So is every single fucking quarterback in the league. Gardner Minshew's a game manager. That nigga made the Pro Bowl.
Hey, like, and even, but the thing about it is, did you watch the game on Sunday?
Yep.
Did Brock Purdy make game-changing type plays?
He sure did.
So if you make game-changing type plays, what are you basically? Can I call you a game changer?
Basically a game changer. Yeah, most definitely. I would say that.
Because this notion, like I said, like that he can't, like they're just winning because of the defense. Well, they were down 17. And they looked at that offense and was like, we got to get some points on the board. Even if the defense does their job, the offense still needed to score 18 points to take the lead. Like,
sure did.
I don't know how you can look at that man in the face and be like, nah, they didn't win because of you. Really? Because they were down 17. Like, the defense gave up 17 points. The defense was getting cracked.
And the thing about it is, how people say that they didn't win because of him. It's like, who else would you put in there to throw those passes?
Yeah. You know who didn't win? You know who won because they didn't win because of him? The Kansas City Chiefs did not win that game because of Patrick Mahomes.
They won that because of the defense.
I'm gonna take it a step further. The Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens defense allowed 16.5 points all season long. That's how much they average, given up.
Yep, sure was.
Right. The Kansas City Chiefs scored 17 points.
7.
So the defense did their job.
They sure did.
The offense had, Lamar, the offense, but there were some things in there. The fumble, a couple of questionable non-calls. Some shit happened. Them not
Most
running
definitely.
the ball. Bad game plan by the offensive coordinator for the Ravens had a lot to do with it.
Definitely.
But you can't go out there and say that Patrick Mahomes won that game. But I can tell you Brock Purdy went out and won that game against the Lions.
Sure did. He sure
because
did.
He had to do what nobody thought was possible. And he had to literally erase a 17-point deficit. And not only erase the 17-point deficit, if the Lions scored, he had to then match that score and score again. So, yeah, no, he went out, he won that game. He showed that he can go make game-changing plays while also managing the game.
He had 5 rushes for 48 yards.
Not holding Niners under 30. Roll with us to get over it. Look, the way I look at this game coming up. We want to preview this game? Or no, we'll wait. We still got another week.
We'll wait. We still got time, but
we can talk about it next Friday because the game ain't till Sunday.
Yeah, but Brock had 5 carries for 48 yards. Damn near 10 yards a carry. those are games. Like I said to one of my homies, because he was a Niner fan. We were talking on Twitter about it. My older brother, one of the biggest Niner fans. Like I said, whole family from Niner fans. My auntie who be coming in the comments, she's a Niner fan as well. Like I said, like I've been talking about it. Like everybody wants to take that fucking game manager comment out of it. He is a game manager, but the difference was this past weekend is he made game-changing plays specifically with his legs. Because you can make game-changing plays with your arms, but when you make it with your legs, it's different.
If Mahomes would have did that, they would like, see him, see how dangerous he is out of the pocket, and look at this and how he can. So why
that's exactly what they did during the game.
So why is it different when Brock Purdy does it?
But that's exactly what they did during the Chiefs game. Oh my God, look at Mahomes, and he's just getting out of the pocket, and he just understands angles so well. And look at the mistake. But they did that all fucking game. They do it every single time. Oh, look at Mahomes, so crafty. He's a legit bro. All game, all game. And I only heard them shout out Brock Purdy's running ability one time during that Niners game. Yep, I only heard them shout out Brock Purdy's running ability one time during that Niner game, bro. One time. Patrick Mahomes had 6 rushes for 15 yards, and it made it sound like he was Lamar Jackson. Brock Purdy had 5 for 48.
Exactly.
But
so it's weird. This is why I said the narrative that they form around certain players is ridiculous to me. It doesn't make sense. Because if you switch it and it was Mahomes that came back from 17 down to beat a team. Oh, it's Mahomes magic. It's this. Da-da-da-da-da. You can't stop him. But Brock Purdy doesn't, and then everybody's just like, yeah, well, you still got to go win the Super Bowl.
And it was huge. And that whole 10th best player. I seen a lot of people run with that shit too, bro. 10th best player on this team. Bro, if somebody can legit name me 10 better players, not even 10, I'll give you 5. If you can name me 5 better players than Brock Purdy on the Niners, and then I will be quiet. And position matters.
And it's like it doesn't make sense to me because all right, we have to stop with because you like somebody more that you can't give the other person credit.
Position matters. Because you guys ain't gonna sit here and tell me that fucking Bosa and Chase Young are better football players than Brock Purdy, who's the leader of the team, guys. He plays quarterback. Guess what? If his job was so easy and anybody can do it, they would have won last year.
No, I told you.
Jimmy G, Sam Darnold, Trey Lance. They could put fucking CMC back there. He's the fucking backup quarterback. If Brock Purdy was the worst player, 10th best player on the team, guess what? They can put any of those guys that are any of the 9 guys that are better than him under the center and have them still win games. Nothing should change.
And the thing about it is facts. The funny thing about it is I had a guy tell me that Brock Purdy is the most replaceable person on the 49ers.
That was the case.
And I was like, no. So then what? So then if he was the most replaceable person, then why? Because before there were 2 quarterbacks that were there before him. 3, honestly.
Yep.
So they're all bad too? Because try to tell me, the guys are like, well, Jimmy G got them to the Super Bowl. And I was like, he did. He was the quarterback of the team that went to the Super Bowl. I don't think that they got there because of Jimmy G, though. Those 2 things can be right. Yes, they went to the Super Bowl, but it wasn't because of Jimmy G.
Yeah, no.
That defense was rolling.
Bro, when anybody tells me that they went to the Super Bowl because of Jimmy G, I always bring up the stat that he literally threw less than 20 passes in that whole playoff run, and they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like the 49ers won a playoff game and didn't score an offensive touchdown.
They won a playoff game in which he didn't throw a pass.
Like, I don't understand. Like, the notion that Brock Purdy is not Take away where he got drafted. Take that off the table. I don't care about where he got drafted. Look at what he is doing now. He is completing 70% of his passes for his career.
But this is the thing that, because where he got drafted matters. Nobody wanted him. Like, if y'all gonna sit up here and use his draft status or the place that he got drafted, that shit matters. The whole world was against, like, literally everybody, nobody wanted. There's a reason why they called the last pick of the draft Mr. Irrelevant, because nobody was thinking about you, nobody was talking about you, none of that shit. He just fell into the Niners' lap.
But if you good, didn't Tom Brady get drafted in the 6th round?
Yeah, 6th round, pick 199.
How many quarterbacks got drafted before Seattle picked Russell Wilson?
A shit ton, because he got drafted in the 4th.
Like, so it doesn't matter where you get drafted. If you ball, you ball. I don't care where you get drafted.
If you're a baller, you're a baller.
And start playing football.
This is the reason why they tell This is the reason why they tell kids it doesn't really matter where you go. If you're a baller, they're gonna find you. When everybody was trying to make a big deal about kids going to HBCUs and not going to these big name schools, bro, if you're a baller, they're gonna find you, bro. Like, it really doesn't matter where you at. If you're a baller, they will find you. They found Kirk Cousins bagging groceries, my nigga. Like, if you're a baller, they're gonna find you, dog.
Kirk Cousins should be bagging groceries.
Kirk Cousins should be bagging groceries. But guess what? There's a whole bunch of people in the league that still like him. There are people in the league that are clamoring for his services. If you're a baller, they're gonna find you. You know what I'm saying?
They said, like, this was another thing. I'm glad you brought that up, because I totally forgot about this part of the argument. But then you said that, and then it brought me up because there was I forgot who it was on ESPN that said Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. And no, he's not. Okay,
I've seen Brock show up there in prime time game.
Okay, and
Kirk got that primetime curse.
Because the argument was, is Brock Purdy a top 10 quarterback? Yes, he is. You can't say he's not a top 10 quarterback when he led the league in passing. I think he was 2nd or 3rd in touchdown pass.
He was quite literally, basically first in every single passing quarter category.
Like,
how's he not a top 10? Especially with all the injuries that took place. You can't just sit up there and put Deshaun Watson up there anymore just because he's Deshaun Watson.
This is what they did.
All these guys up there no more because of the name.
If Deshaun is healthy, I was like, look, you can't do. Are we talking about talent or what actually happens on the field?
Deshaun was healthy, and then went out there and got fucking hurt. But even before he got hurt, but when he was healthy, the Browns weren't playing that good offensively. Their high point was the defense. They honestly didn't start really going crazy until Joe Flacco got under the goddamn center. So what?
And that's why I said, are we talking about talent or are we talking about what happens on the field? Because if we're going to talk talent, no, he's not a top 10 quarterback. But then if we're talking about talent, a lot of the people that you are talking about aren't going to be there.
If we're talking about gameplay, if we're talking about availability, if we're talking about it's not getting hurt, if we're talking about just being like,
because if we're going to talk about, oh, well, he's not, just look at the talent, cool, then Justin Fields is the most talented, he's the best quarterback in the league. If we're going to base this off of talent. If we're going to base this off of talent, Justin Herbert's the top 2 quarterback, Justin Fields, who else? Like
CJ
Stroud. Like, if we're just going to base it off of talent, that's a totally different conversation.
Nah, hold on, Mel, because Baker Mayfield, he won the quarterback's challenge yesterday in the Pro Bowl game.
Oh, you already know. I know.
So
I know.
He must be the best quarterback in the league because he's the most talented, right? He won the quarterback talent games yesterday. He got to be the best quarterback in the league, right?
Right.
Nah, I'm just saying, right? Because talent matters so much. Oh, he's just more talented. He's more talented. Michael Vick was more talented than 90% of the quarterbacks in NFL history.
I don't want to see this. This is the thing. I hate when they say because it requires time and consistency. Not true, because Joe Burrow came in his 2nd year and they anointed him a top 5 quarterback, and he didn't have nothing behind him. Yeah, all he did was win a playoff game.
they still consider Josh Allen a motherfucking top 5
At
quarterback.
this point
He
in
ain't sniffed
time,
the AFC
Brock
Championship.
Purdy. At this point in time, Brock Purdy has accomplished more than Joe Burrow and Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. Well, no, he's on the same level as Jalen Hurts right now because Jalen Hurts went to a Super Bowl.
Brock Purdy will be going to 2.
No, 1.
He played in 1 last. No, you're right. No, 1. That's right. You're right.
No.
That's true. Okay. Yeah. No, I can get that. I can understand that. But do you count the regression of Jalen Hurts against him this year? Because it was apparent that Jalen Hurts did. I was apparent that Jalen Hurts did regress, and we can definitely say that Brock Purdy definitely played a lot better than him. So like that regression matters, right?
You can't say Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy when head to head that's not the case, and Brock Purdy has done more with his team than Dak Prescott.
It's crazy because they will sit up there and try to make the case for Dak being an MVP, but not Brock Purdy when Brock has better passing stats than Dak.
Brock Purdy has never lost to Dak Prescott.
Ever.
Regular season or playoffs.
Ever.
Like, so we're not.
Y'all realize that Brock Purdy has now been to a Super Bowl, and Dak has yet to sniff one.
Right. Like, Brock Purdy has been to more NFC Championship games than Dak Prescott. And he's only been in the league 3 years. So I don't understand what the consistency part is because Dak Prescott hasn't given you nothing, but y'all think he's a top 10 quarterback.
Sure do. Every single year.
It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. The guy that they anoint to these things, like Josh Allen hasn't done. He had an epic game against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, and that's their barometer that he's the next guy.
Yep. Justin Herbert, they do the same thing to him. His arm talent is amazing, but what has he really done to be anointed like that, right?
Man, you can't.
Because there's still people right now that'll sit up there and say, "Oh, well, Justin Herbert gets back, he's going to be better than Brock Purdy," and still, bro, how? When Brock has done more in less time and accomplished more in less time.
They talk about Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow has played a total of maybe 1 full season.
If that.
They tell you, look, they tell you your best ability is availability, and is can we say that Joe Burrow is available for the Cincinnati Bengals? Said J-Lo has more rings. You are ridiculous.
He ain't lying.
He ain't lying.
But
this is where it's because if Justin Herbert would have did what Brock Purdy did, they would lose their shit. If Trevor Lawrence did what Brock Purdy is doing, they would lose their shit.
You mean Trevor Lawrence, the same person that led the Jags to #1 in their division, but then ultimately folded and fumbled it, and then they didn't make the playoffs? That Trevor Lawrence?
That Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. Damn, that's crazy. That's wild. You mean to tell me that this guy that they had top 10 prior to the season starting and in top 10 all season that didn't even make the playoffs, they probably still gonna have him over Brock Purdy next year, right?
I'm not going to answer this because you're trying to set me up, and I'm not going to do it.
I don't know about that.
He's trying to set me up to say the 49ers are a good organization. I'm not going to do it.
Well, I mean, that's apparent, right? Like
we know they are, but I'm not going to say.
Yeah, you guys are. And I hate the 49ers, but you guys are good. You guys are a good organization. Now,
but you don't.
Winning the big one, you need work. We'll see if Kyle can get it done this year. But I mean, as far as a good organization, absolutely, yeah, most definitely. You guys are a solid organization, absolutely.
But it's just like
I hate your stinking guts, but you guys are solid.
But my thing is like they give all of these quarterbacks praise and anoint them into positions, but they don't do it for others. But then they say to the ones who are doing it, well, they need to be more consistent. Okay, I'm doing it, but I need to be more consistent. But them over there aren't doing it at all, but they're okay. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Like, you can't say that.
How can you say somebody is better than me when they haven't done what I've done
on the consistent level that I've done it?
Right. Whether it's consistent or not, Trevor Lawrence was in the Brock Purdy draft, right?
Yeah, but it's like if I'm going out, it's because consistency. If consistency matters so much, if I'm going out there and I have 5, 10, 16, 17 good games in a row, 16 good games in a row, because nobody's perfect. Nobody's gonna have a perfect season. But if I have 15 good games in a row, and you have one good game, a horrible game, an okay game, a great game, an excellent game, an ass get like, how am I not more consistent than you? If I'm winning games that my team is supposed to win, but you're losing games that your team is supposed to win, how am I not more consistent than you? Yes, Dak Prescott, I'm talking about you. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, I'm talking about y'all. Because y'all are supposed to be these top 10, top 5 guys, but you're losing games that you shouldn't have no business losing. So if consistency is it, I see one guy that does his job on a consistent basis to the point where his team is collecting wins, and I see others not doing that, being more inconsistent. It's crazy. Herbert won't be there for long. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Herbert gonna be gone by next summer. Because they already trying to get Saquon.
Trevor Lawrence came the year before, but even that's even worse because he's done more in less time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll see if Herbert is there because the Jim's trying to get Saquon. And I know the Giants would, and I know that not Trevor. Herbert. I know the Giants would love to have Justin Herbert over.
They were in the same draft.
Yeah, they were, right?
Yeah, that was it was Trayvon Walker. No, my bad.
Oh, Trayvon Walker. Okay, no, that makes sense. Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
This was the quarterbacks that went in this draft. Cody Pickett.
Yep.
It was that draft.
Yeah. So I think Pickett went that draft.
Let me see. Who were the quarterbacks that went that draft? There were 9 quarterbacks. 9 quarterbacks in that draft.
With that draft.
It was. Why can't I find the damn 9 quarterbacks?
Hold on, wait a minute. That was 2022.
Who were the 9 quarterbacks? Why can't I find this draft? Okay.
That's weird.
It is. I don't want to do it the long way. That's why I don't want to. It was Kenny Pickett.
Desmond Ridder. Malik Willis. Matt Corral.
Now imagine this.
Bailey Zappi.
Right. Imagine how good the Steelers would be if Brock Purdy was their quarterback. If they would have took Brock Purdy instead of Cody Pickett, imagine how good the Steelers would be right now.
They could have took Sam Howell and it would have been better. Skylar Thompson. It's just kind of crazy, but and then Brock Purdy was the last one.
Yeah. So this was the very good quarterback draft. And unfortunately, of all the quarterbacks in that draft, he is by far the most accomplished.
Best one, honestly. Like he's quite literally the best one. Like literally the best one.
And it's not close.
It's not even remotely close. Like it's not even remotely close. Like Tyler Thompson is the only other another quarterback. Let's see, Chris.
And he might be. He's probably the third best quarterback behind Cody Pickett. I mean Kenny Pickett.
I don't even think I give him that, honestly.
Because Skylar Thompson, I watched when he came in Miami, and I was just like, well, if they ever wanted to move on from Tua, that guy can do it.
Like Sam Howell, Bailey Zappi.
Well, okay, maybe Sam Howell was the second best.
Definitely, I'll take Sam. Right? Shit, I like the way he plays. Of course, you got to go out there and let him earn his stripes. But shit, yeah, no, shit, yeah. Shit, even Bailey Zappi, shit, he started over Mac Jones. Shit, they benched Mac Jones.
Zappi was my dude. But,
so it just was it wasn't no goddamn no hell no, it wasn't no damn no draft for no good. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people got to understand something. A lot of these teams came into this draft without even looking for a quarterback. This was not a quarterback draft. Okay, this was a draft for defensive players, DBs, O linemen. That's the reason. That's what they were looking for. Receivers. That's what they're looking for. And wasn't nobody worried about no fucking quarterback coming into this damn draft. Like nobody was worried about a quarterback coming to this draft. That he fell into their lap, and they was like, "Oh shit, we might have got one." And I called it. I literally called it. I'm gonna ask my aunt for these motherfucking text messages. I hope she got them. But after that first preseason game that I seen Brock Purdy in, I seen the footwork, I seen the pocket presence, I seen the ball delivery. I said, if Trey Lance don't work out and whoever the fuck y'all got, that's y'all nigga right there. That's him right there. Literally said it. And my aunt was like, yeah, you think so? And this and that. I said, go look at him. Go look at his pocket presence. Go look at his timing. Go look at his footwork. Go look at the way he stands in the pocket. Go look how poised he is as a fucking rookie. Yeah, that boy got it. I promise you, he's going to be him. Now here we are.
He him. So that was our rant for the day. You know, we don't got too much. Michael B is in the building, showing up late and shit. But yeah, we got, and like I said, I was gonna get to this now, but Moolers beat me to the punch. Shout out to my man Shake and Bake, winning that quarterback challenge out there. Look, it just making Troy look dumber and dumber every day.
Man, y'all see my boy Bake out there balling. Stop playing with him. Okay.
Man, my man Shake and Bake. He out there doing his thing, man. He's having fun.
And if you didn't watch the Pro Bowl events games last night, I ain't gonna lie to you. They getting a lot better, okay? They are getting a lot. They're getting a lot better, okay? It was definitely more entertaining, like the dodgeball, the QB competition, even the long snapper competition. Like it was just an entertaining thing to watch. I know everything's leading up to the flag football game on Sunday. It was just entertaining to watch, man. If you haven't checked it out, like definitely try to check it out. It's definitely something that nostalgic back in the day kind of feeling,
The snap contest was crazy.
That shit was crazy. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I'm not even mad at that. Like that, I was like, and for most people, if you don't know how hard it is to snap, dog, and to spiral it and try, like that's hard, man. Like,
long snapping is very, very
difficult.
That's a talent.
That is a whole talent.
Especially to be able to aim it through holes and circles and shit worth points.
See, look,
that's
this is the disrespect. This is why I defend Baker the way that I do. Okay? Because these types of comments right here, best practice play ever. Baker is awesome. See, you need to stop. That's hate in your blood. You gotta get that out.
Practice? We talking about practice? Is this the same Baker Mayfield that beat the Raiders in 48 hours with 90 seconds left to go on the drive?
Yeah, like
the same Baker Mayfield that beat the NFC defending champions this year in playoffs? It's the same Baker that everybody read off, and he passed for 5.
And should have beat the Lions. Keep it a stack. Should have beat the Lions.
Definitely. That's Todd Bowles' fault. We're gonna blame him for that because you got to call timeout. Stupid. And it's the same Baker Mayfield that got Mike Evans almost 1,500 yards, even though everybody said that Mike Evans was probably gonna fall off after this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's crazy. That's interesting. Same
So,
Baker Mayfield
hey.
that won the QB skills challenge, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, hey, don't know. That's my man Shake and Bake. That's why we gonna ride with Baker until the wheels fall off.
Hey, I'm just making show. I'm just making show, man. I had to ask because you know what I'm saying. All I'm saying is this is the same Baker Mayfield completing 64% of his passes, past 4,000 yards this year, 28 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions.
I'm just saying.
Like,
I mean,
you're
I think
saying, he had
a better season than Patrick Mahomes.
He had a 94% passing rating on the season. Made a Pro Bowl.
I'm just saying, if he didn't, if that defense would have showed up for a couple games, like. Mike Evans because if that was the case, he would have did it. This was the best season he had as a pro.
I was gonna say if that was the case, he would have did it last year.
And he didn't do it with Tom Brady.
Yeah, like.
So, hey, don't look. We will not take Baker slander on this show. It will not happen. I will fight tooth and nail for Baker. That is my guy.
Like, y'all realize that the only other best season that and this is crazy. This is crazy. The only other best season, the only other time he had 1,500
was his second or third year, right?
It was actually his fifth year, right? When he had Ryan Fitzmagic behind center.
Fitzmagic. Yeah, but no, see,
come on, bro.
Like I said,
come on, bro.
Listen,
we're not doing this.
I said if he had a defense like Patrick Mahomes, he'd be there too.
We're not doing this. Come on, bro.
Yeah, he got 1,000 with Brady. He didn't get 1,500 with Brady. You see the difference there? And didn't Chris Godwin have a dope season too? I think Chris Godwin had a dope ass season too. No, don't disrespect Baker like that. Don't do that with Baker. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do it.
9-8, went to the playoffs. Everybody read him off. Yeah, no. I mean, come on now, bro. What? Come on, dog. 62% in playoffs, completion percentage.
This Mike. That's my brother. It's my brother. That he's the one that's
disrespecting. You know what I mean? 106 passer rating. This is Baker Mayfield and the playoffs.
My brother a hater. That's all it is. It's all right. It's okay. I grew up with him.
I gotta put that respect on that Baker Mayfield, man.
Yeah, don't do that because he's another one that did exactly what everybody said he couldn't do. You can't give Baker the team because Baker this and Baker that, and he's not an NFL quarterback. Man, well, he shut everybody the hell up this year, didn't he?
It's crazy. My boy Shaking Baker was balling, but we'll leave it up to the jury, I guess. But they did say they want him back.
Yeah, they're not letting him go.
Yeah,
that man is not leaving that fucking facility without a goddamn deal.
All I gotta say is, if they were to choose, they would pick Baker over Todd Bowles.
Yeah, because I'll tell you this: there's a bunch of teams that'll take his ass as their quarterback next season.
Easily too.
Like you only need one, and there's a few. What is that?
Anything from a college kid is surprising. We don't never know what they're going to turn out.
First overall pick is surprising or expected. He went to a bad organization. The Cleveland Browns were ass. They're still ass.
Took him to the playoffs.
And he took their first playoff win.
Right?
Their first playoff win since 1996. Baker Mayfield did that.
Baker. Yeah, y'all. You do remember him coming within literally a play of beating Patrick Mahomes in the second round of the playoffs, correct?
Right.
Oh, okay.
On,
I just had to make sure. Because say people tend to forget that, bro. One play away from beating Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
See, my brother can only do this because the 49ers are in the Super Bowl. That's the only reason why he can do it. So
of course.
I'm gonna let
I've
him.
been getting,
I'm gonna let
I've
him.
been getting messages from Niner fans all day. I'm not even gonna preview. Like I said, we gonna break down the game next week. I already broke it down on Twitter. I mean, on fucking TikTok. I already told you what's fucking gonna happen. So if you don't follow my TikTok, go ahead and follow my TikTok Sports Muru. Okay, FTSL Sports Muru. Okay, I already broke the game down. I already told you what's gonna fucking happen. All right, but I guess y'all can talk, bro. You feel me? Y'all can talk.
I'm
Y'all,
gonna see.
yeah, see, y'all
I'm
been
gonna
on
see
a
what I
quest
can
for
do.
six for about 30 years, but I mean, sure, do your thing.
I'm gonna see what I can do because he's still in the chat. You make sure you take off. You make sure you take off Friday. I'm gonna see if I can get you in. If you can jump on the screen next week.
You absolutely right. Almost only counts on horseshoes and hand grenades. And y'all almost won the Super Bowl a few years back, and y'all almost won the NFC Championship last year.
Right. So I'm gonna see if I get my brother on the show next week for a couple minutes because I know he's busy. So I get him on because we need a Niner fan to come in and talk their Niner stuff. If we can find a Chiefs fan, we're gonna get the Chiefs fan to come and talk their Chiefs stuff. Have some fun with it. So I'm gonna work that. I'm gonna see if I can work that out. Until then, it's been a Football Friday. What do you say? Makes you want to do
have to make it happen. we can make it happen. We can make it happen.
Been a Football Friday. We got the rants off. We're coming to the end of the NFL season. We got the Super Bowl next week. So we'll have our Super Bowl special on Friday.
Beginning of the UFL/XFL season.
I might have some shit. My wife is performing at the Super Bowl. So we'll see. I might be able to sneak into Allegiant Stadium and go live during the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Get inside the huddle, inside Allegiant Stadium. See who I can. So I'm crossing my fingers we can work this out.
Yeah. And if all goes well, your boy Moo will have a very special surprise for y'all next week.
All right. So shout out to my brother JC in the comments. He a 49er fan. If nobody didn't notice this, but with all the nonsense he was spewing in the chat. Shout out to him and his team making it to the Super Bowl. Micah B showed up a little late, but his presence is always welcome. Yeah, and everybody else who's been listening on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, if you're watching, like, subscribe, hit that button, drop, comment in the daggone thing. Let us know what we're doing, what you like, what you don't like.
And don't be scared. We accept guests. We accept smoke. We accept fade. All of the above. Pull up. Come talk your shit. And have some fun, man. We appreciate y'all.
We appreciate y'all, every bit of it. Hold on, where's this thing at? And it's been a Football Friday. We're gonna be back next week. I don't know if we're gonna keep doing this. We might do another takeover next week.
We might do another takeover. We can't let y'all know all the plans, but right.
We're trying to see. We see how
drop a little hints here and there. You know what I mean?
A little bit. But until then, it's been a Football Friday. We out of here.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn